This is Mac OS Ken.
Gearing up for Apple earnings, making things and trouble making things, and you can finally fix your own iPhone. It is Thursday, the 28th of April, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. Learn more and check your rate at upstart.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Trade Coffee. There's this fun thing I like to do at my local coffee shop. I go in, look at which coffees they have brewed, order the one I choose, and they tell me they don't have that one brewed. Despite bags and bags of different types of coffee, and signs up indicating 3 roasts, no waiting, they have one choice. You know, unless I want something frozen and blended with chocolate syrup in it. I kind of feel like they don't care, which is not the feeling I get from Trade Coffee. Trade asks you about your coffee preferences, then goes out and finds you coffees from roasters who also care. People who pay farmers fair prices to sustainably source the greatest beans from around the world. Call me a coffee snob if you want to. I've been called worse. If you care about your coffee, you should try Trade Coffee. Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/macOSKen. That is more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/macOSKen and let Trade find you a coffee you'll love. That's drinktrade.com/macOSKen for $30 off. And don't forget about Mother's Day coming up. A Trade subscription is the perfect gift for the coffee lovers in your life. drinktrade.com/macOSKen. Pencils down, people. Time for one more note from the financial front ahead of today's March quarter earnings report from Apple. Today's theme, returning capital to investors. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note from Evercore analyst Amit Daryanani. Despite supply constraints and manufacturing shutdowns in China, Ad Rock thinks Apple will deliver another quarter of growth. Now show him the money. According to his note, Apple typically provides a capital allocation update during the March quarter earnings report, and we expect them to increase both the buyback authorization and the quarterly dividend. The dividend will likely increase by 6% to 7%. It was 7% in March of 2021, and we expect at least $90 billion in additional buyback authorization. It was $90 billion in March of 2021. Growth for iPhone, that's fine. New products on the horizon, whatever. Capital returns remain central to the Apple bull thesis, according to Daryanani, so a better-than-expected authorization could contribute to some post-earnings upside. Daryanani has an outperform rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $210. And now we simply count down the hours. Apple's second quarter fiscal year 2022 earnings report and the associated call are set for this afternoon. Earnings for the March quarter will hit Apple's site after the closing bell at 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. Then the call between Apple CEO Tim Cook, Apple CFO Luca Maestri, and a slew of financial analysts is set for 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. You can catch the call live on Apple's investor site. It'll also be available to replay there for a couple of weeks. The company will also make the call available as a podcast soon after, though that will also only be available for a couple of weeks. Or you can skip those shenanigans and tomfoolery and catch a recap right here on Friday's show. Something that is likely to come up a time or two in today's earnings call, is problems in the supply chain. Those seem to be persisting. Just ask people who ordered a MacBook Pro a couple of months ago and won't be getting it for another couple of months. A piece from Cult of Mac says people who ordered a top-tier MacBook Pro in February are being notified that it won't be delivered until June. One of their readers tells the site, "We put our order in on the 6th of February, and they're now quoting the 14th to the 28th of June for fulfillment. Over 4 months to get a machine is an enormous amount of time." That person is not wrong. Of course, it's also not Apple's fault. The Cult says the problem is all the COVID-19 lockdowns in China hampering notebook assembly. According to the report, Quanta Computing is the only company that assembles high-end Apple notebooks, and a COVID-19 lockdown near Shanghai forced the temporary closure of some of its facilities in mid-March. However, it has been able to restart limited production with Apple's Mac as the first priority, according to TF International securities analyst Ming-Chi Kuo. No offense to Cult of Mac, but it seems unlikely that closures in mid-March are the only thing pushing orders placed in early February out to late June. Earlier this week, we had a story about worries around iPhone manufacturing. In that story, 9to5Mac argued that the biggest issue was not with CPUs and GPUs, but far more mundane chips like display drivers and power management systems. These relatively low-tech chips are used in a huge number of devices, including Apple ones. One imagines that that is hurting Mac production as well. Maybe somebody could ask about that on today's call. Whether it's doing it to take some of the strain off of China or just to make sales easier elsewhere, 2 stories today of iPhones made outside the Middle Kingdom. India's Business Standard starts us off with news of Apple shipping 1 million make-in-India iPhones last quarter, a number the site calls a massive jump of 50% in iPhone shipments within the country versus the same quarter a year earlier. That is according to data from Cyber Media Research, or CMR. Prabhu Ram, head of industry intelligence at CMR, says making newer iPhones in India is making those phones more appealing. Imported iPhones face huge tariffs, driving up each phone's price. iPhones made and sold in the country avoid that tariff and apparently get picked up by consumers. According to CMR's ROM, with its enduring brand appeal, Apple continues to attract premium buyers. This is a break from the past when older generation iPhone models gained consumer favor through aggressive and attractive price offers. As Apple further diversifies its manufacturing base, says the analyst, the newer generation iPhone models will fuel Apple's India growth story. On the other side of the globe, it looks like Apple's making more iPhones in Brazil. Well, Foxconn is on Apple's behalf. 9to5Mac says the contract manufacturer has started assembling iPhone 13 in Brazil. That is the Goldilocks phone, no minis in the mix, and no Pros either. Not unlike India, 9to5Mac says Brazil imposes high taxes on imported products, which includes almost the entire range of Apple devices. For that reason, there are some companies that invest in the local assembly process, as this grants a reduction in taxes to sell those products. Good news for you do-it-yourselfers. Apple's self-service repair program has opened for folks in the States. Engadget ran a report Wednesday saying that people with an iPhone 12, iPhone 13, or third-generation iPhone SE can buy key parts such as batteries, cameras, and displays from a dedicated store and consult official repair manuals as you fix a device yourself. You can even spend $49 to rent a toolkit for a week if you'd rather not buy tools you're unlikely to use often. The program will expand to other countries later this year, according to the piece, starting with Europe, It'll also expand to include Macs later this year, though only those of the M1 variety. While right-to-repair advocates see the program as a step in the right direction, they would like to see more steps. Mac Rumors had iFixit's Elizabeth Chamberlain indicating in a blog post Wednesday that the biggest problem with Apple's product is that parts must be paired with a device. When purchasing parts from Apple's self-service repair store, a customer must enter a device's serial number or IMEI, and any parts ordered need to be paired with the same device after installation. The way she sees it, that pairing sets Apple up as the gateway to approve or deny any repairs in the future with parts from any source. That said, she does like the free peek Apple is giving everybody under the hood. Apple has posted repair manuals for iPhone 12, iPhone 13, and the latest iPhone SE, and that makes Chamberlain happy. As she will tell you. Quoting her post, "We are really happy to see Apple making repair manuals available for everyone for free online. Like seriously happy. Like we've been asking for this for 20 years, happy." She's also cool with the tool sales and rental from Apple, and seems to see the program as a good start. Quoting Chamberlain one more time, "At least Apple is getting some of their homework done in advance. Manufacturers know the right to repair is coming. We'll get the rest of their assignments in due time." Less enthused is Nathan Proctor, the Right to Repair campaign director for the U.S. Public Interest Research Group. While a piece from Apple Insider has Proctor saying that his org is really pleased to see the program, they'd like to see some ease to the program. The piece has Proctor saying while this is a start, there are still too many hoops to jump through to fix phones, as it's becoming clear that Apple and other manufacturers can give us the right to repair. We should require them to. And we should have more options, not just one set of parts, not just a few manufacturers. No product should be tossed in the scrap heap, wasting money and adding to our toxic electronic waste problem because the manufacturer doesn't properly support repair. But, he's really pleased. More news in a moment, but first a word from Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. Nobody expects unexpected bills or expenses. That's why they're called unexpected. When they hit, it can feel like being hit hard, like the weight of the world is landing on you. Upstart can help you out from under. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, Upstart can help you get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. They look at more than just your credit score, factoring in income, employment, and other information provided in your loan application to find you a smarter rate for your loan. And the whole thing happens online. You can check your rate in minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000 without impacting your credit score. Join the nearly 2 million people Upstart has helped on the way to financial freedom. Don't wait and check your rate today at upstart.com/macOScan. UPSTART, that is upstart.com/macOScan to check your rate today. Don't forget to use my URL to let them know I sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/macOScan. A correction to yesterday's macOScan. In discussing Apple's big cash, lots of prizes settlement with developers, I said the URL to learn more and apply to the program was smalldeveloperassistance.com. Jim was kind enough to write in and correct my mistake. The actual URL is smallappdeveloperassistance.com. That URL again is small-app-developer-assistance.com. Thank you, Jim, for the correction. I am sorry for the error. Let us never speak of it again. Smartwatches like Apple Watch are the future of personal health. Hey, wait a second, there's an asterisk here. What does it say? It says, statement applies to people who can afford them. 9 to 5 Mac ran a piece Wednesday on a new study from the National Institutes of Health, or NIH. According to the docs who say, "Nee," there are inequalities within the ownership of smartwatches and wearable technology. The piece has the report saying the study finds that those who own smartwatches tend to be young, white, educated, and wealthy. For this particular study, what the NIH is trying to do is build a health database representative of the U.S. When it comes to wearables, though, the info they got back was mostly from the white and well-off. Quoting the study, respondents who were interested in using an activity monitor made it clear their lack of use wasn't because they were unwilling to use devices or contribute the resulting data to research. They cited cost barriers, 49%, the need for support in using the devices, 19%, and a lack of clear understanding of the potential value of these devices to their health, 16%. If I were being cynical, I would argue that a health study that's too expensive, hard to manage, and pretty opaque is representative of the U.S. According to 9 to 5 Mac, it's not that people who don't fit these measures don't want smartwatches, it's that the devices are too expensive. Since high costs of wearable technology turns off underrepresented groups, it leaves them excluded from medical research involving these devices. It also leaves them excluded from the benefits of the devices. And finally today, news of a biopic for Apple TV Plus that seems like a can't miss. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release Wednesday announcing a new untitled feature film about the life of beloved actor and advocate Michael J. Fox. I normally like to remove words like beloved from stories like this. But come on, it's Michael J. Fox. He's Marty McFly. He's Alex P. Keaton. He's Lewis, whatever Lewis's last name was from the American President. It's kind of hard to get a handle on exactly how the film will be handled. Directed by Oscar-winning filmmaker Davis Guggenheim, the release says the film will incorporate documentary, archival, and scripted elements and will recount Fox's extraordinary story in his own words. The improbable tale of an undersized kid from a Canadian Army base who rose to the heights of stardom in 1980s Hollywood. The account of Fox's public life, full of nostalgic thrills and cinematic gloss, will unspool alongside his never-before-seen private journey, including the years that followed his diagnosis at age 29 with Parkinson's disease. Intimate and honest, and produced with unprecedented access to Fox and his family, the film will chronicle Fox's personal and professional triumphs and travails, and will explore what happens when an incurable optimist confronts an incurable disease. With a mix of adventure and romance, comedy and drama, watching the film will feel like a Michael J. Fox movie. Currently in production in LA, New York, and Vancouver, there is no word on when the film will hit Apple TV+. I will say, though, it can't hit soon enough. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Trade Coffee. Get $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Upstart, fair and fast personal loans. Learn more and check your rate at upstart.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.